Hey everyone, Mark from Zen Healing Dojo here at the Honolulu International Airport. And today I'm going to talk about how to keep your meals interesting. So I recently received an email from one of the subscribers to the Zen Healing Dojo 12-day email course. And since I didn't ask permission, I'm going to keep this anonymous and just let you know what they asked. So they already avoid high carbs, sweets, bread, and pastas, but they wanted to know about how to keep their meals varied and interesting. They wrote, quote, "I know nutrition is important and I have lost weight when I focus on eating healthy. My problem is I need variety in my meals. I can't eat the same thing over and over." And they go on to say that they've tried some prepackaged foods, but they were too expensive and didn't care for them. I'll talk about prepackaged foods in a minute. And they also said, quote, "I just wish to have an app that you can choose what foods you like and what your focus is, low carb, high protein, low sugar, etc. And the app can tailor an easy to follow meal plan for the week, designed specifically for you." So, well, first of all, thank you so much for the email. Personally, I don't know of any apps that fulfill your requirements. Do I? No, I don't. But I'm pretty sure that if and when one is available, they'll do gangbusters because that sounds like a really intense app. You see, one of the challenges with meal planning apps is the sheer number of variables, many of which are individual in nature. You literally would have to have almost every conceivable trait as a potential variable for the meals. And I've seen apps that deal with specific diet protocols such as paleo or vegan or low carb, but to have one app that includes all possible varieties of ways people eat would be incredibly challenging. I know enough about programming. I'm not a programmer, but I know enough to realize how much of a headache building that would be. So I don't know of any. But really your issue wasn't so much about finding an app as it was about finding out how to keep your meals interesting when following a specific protocol. I think with meal planning, many people get into a bit of a catch-22. In order to have variety, they feel they need to cook every meal differently. A lot of preparation and cleaning time. You have to either cook several separate meals at one time, or you have to cook each meal separately. Does that make sense? For example, you would have to cook meals for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all on Sunday, which is, I guess, basically like cooking 9 meals at once if you were cooking each meal to be different. Or you go the batch preparation route where you favor efficiency, time, and economy by cooking several of the same meal. Of course, that means you eat the same thing every day for a few days, which you don't care for. You want variety in your meals, which I totally get. But is that really the case? I mean, let's look at this from the perspective of a different area of your life where variety is helpful. So unless you're dressing like the late Steve Jobs, you probably don't have just the same outfit for every day of the week. But that also doesn't mean that you have 365 separate items of each clothing: shirts, pants, socks, skirts, etc. You can do the same thing with your meals. You take several staple ingredients or elements of a meal and combine them in unique different ways for a variety of flavors. I only have a few of each type of clothing, but I make sure that they can go together so I can mix and match them. And you can do the same with food. So there are different components of a meal that you can mix and match. Sorry, there are people here walking around. Okay, so first, foundational vegetables. This is the first of 4. You can think of these like for clothing like trousers, jeans, khakis, capris, etc. They form the foundation for many different outfits. And for vegetables, these are things like spinach, kale, lettuce, cabbage, or other loose leaf type vegetables that are good for providing a foundational element to your meal. Since I eat a lot of salads, that works really well. They basically save the same function for me that rice or bread does for most other people. I guess you could also use like potatoes or yams or sweet potatoes for this. Beans also do a great job, and I used to use them a lot back in the day. I don't do beans as much now. The second one is protein tops. So just like with your clothes where the shirts can vary depending on what effect you want to achieve, you can also accessorize with proteins. Grilled chicken, hard-boiled eggs, salmon, tuna fish, tofu, even peanuts or almond butter. You can add on the protein that goes well with the foundational vegetables you've chosen. The third component of the meal are the covering plants. And with clothes, these are like your overgarments, like a jacket, sweater, vest. And with food, these are plants that accentuate both the foundational vegetable and the protein tops. Things like tomatoes, mushrooms, bell peppers, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, boysenberries, blackberries, shaved almonds, quinoa, onion, the list goes on. You get the idea, right? And the fourth one is accessory flavors. And for clothes, these are things like sunglasses, hats, gloves, shoes, etc. With food, these are the additional flavors to provide more depth of flavor and context for what you eat. Garlic, vinegar, turmeric, cayenne pepper, Worcestershire sauce, paprika, and much, much more. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mark, all you did was list out a bunch of different types of food. How does that help me create variety? So here's the thing. Just like with clothes, you don't own or wear every type of clothing that exists, right? Well, hopefully you don't. I mean, we all have different issues. Anyway, what I'd recommend is picking your top 2 to 4 of each type of food. So pick your 3 favorite foundational vegetables, maybe pinto beans, spinach, and cabbage, for example. And then you'd pick your 3 favorite protein tops, like say grilled chicken, tofu, and hard-boiled eggs. Then you would pick your top 3 covering plants. So maybe like cherry tomatoes, maybe like green onions, like diced green onions, or maybe like blueberries to go on top of something. And then finally, accessory flavors, minced garlic, cayenne pepper, soy sauce. Those might be good ones. Maybe you're wondering about salt and pepper. I didn't mention those. Those are sort of like fundamentals. That's like underwear. You kind of always have to have those on underneath everything. So now, instead of trying to either batch cook one meal a dozen times so you're sick of that particular meal, or instead of trying to cook 3 different unique meals for every day of the week, you just batch the 3 different ingredients, 2 to 4, but 3 is a good number, so you can quickly put together meals for each day. So on meal preparation day, for example, you put all the elements you need together. You wash the spinach, you cut the cabbage, you boil the eggs, you roast the chicken, you create your flavor sauces and spice mixes, you dice tomatoes, you get the idea. Then each day you just have to go into the refrigerator with your Tupperware container and put in the 4 elements for the meal that you want to eat that day. So you put in the foundational, protein on top, some flavoring, and little spices or flavors or juices, whatever. If you want to make it even easier, you can go to Costco or one of the local grocery stores where they might already have a bunch of cut up roast chicken or minced garlic or other things pre-prepared for you. You don't even have to wash some of the vegetables, which you should do anyway. Good quality salsa is also really nice to have on hand. So, you know, truth be told, I'm the kind of person who can sort of eat the same thing over and over every day. So getting bored with food has never really been my problem. I do like variety, but I don't eat a ton of it. But if I wanted to create some variety in my meals without having to resort to cooking for 3 hours a day, then this is the approach I would take. I think it adds enough variety, but it also gives you enough stability to not take all your time. And as you go forward, you'll discover the specific flavor profiles and food combinations and meals that are your favorites to prepare to go. And then you'll be able to put them together faster and easier each time. It's sort of like doing your own meal prep, having your own app in a way, I guess. Anyway, I hope this helps. One more thing I should mention, and I said this before, whenever possible, I would try to stay away from prepackaged and processed ready-made meals. The more a machine has touched the food you're cooking, the less likely it is close to its natural state. So I always try to get foods with the highest level of vibrancy and freshness and in their natural state as possible. I would stay away from powders, meal bars, replacement shakes. They aren't really what your body is meant to eat in the first place, right? You know, hashtag real food. That's it for this video. Thanks so much, anonymous person, for sending the video or the email. And if you'd like to receive that 12-part email course that this person is in, it goes through everything I did to lose around 70 pounds in under 5 months, and I'm still losing weight. Then be sure to head to zenhealingdojo.com and you can sign up for it right there and get it in your inbox right away. Oh, and if you have a moment, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video and my channel. You guys are awesome. Hope you're doing well, and until next time, stay healthy. Bye-bye.